I'm looking at a perfect example of a Jersey Jack's dialed in. People say it's one of Jersey Jack's best besides Elton John. I'm going to show you how the PinSnake can navigate a lot of these little ramps, especially on the left side of the playfield. You have your left orbit, which kind of shoots up into a horseshoe. You have your left orbit that shoots around and comes out into the back here near this lady. You have a left ramp that comes around behind the theater into the wire form. You also have a shot, which you can't really see from the front, but underneath this wire form and underneath this ramp, there's a shot that comes around into a horseshoe that feeds into the wire form that spits out onto the left side of the playfield. Same thing that Elton John does. It kind of just drops it right onto the field. You have the center, you have the theater shot. You also have this little target right underneath this wire form here. And then besides the phone, you have a right orbit shot. And then your shooter lane, which also feeds it all the way up to the top here. Okay, I'm gonna start with the right orbit. We have your right flipper here, which shoots into that left hidden ramp. And you can see I'm just gonna feed the PinSnake very simply underneath the wire forms, curves around, and comes right out there on the top. Pretty straightforward. There's no gates to worry about. There's a couple of rollover switches, but it's pretty easy. You can also feed the snake to the left side of the phone into the pop bumper area, which is completely covered by a whole thing of plastic. Oh, I see. So the ball drops onto this plastic, bounces around, and goes through the gobble hole just like it does on Pinbot. So you want to take the snake and just kind of feed it around the bumpers. You can actually curve the snake a little bit to the left and right, just to kind of, caress the bumpers a bit. I'll go to the other side of the machine. And there's no other opening, so the only way to get into the pop bumpers is through this gobble hole on the top. The shooter lane is pretty open, makes it a lot easier. You gotta watch out these little drone helicopters, so I'm just gonna rest the snake right in the shooter lane and just feed it underneath all the way through and go all the way to the top here. You kind of wanna go off that ramp a bit, but you don't have to go past it. Your hand shouldn't go past the drones at all. Dialed in's pretty open, so it's not too hard to clean through. On your right orbit from the shooter lane, the ball will come around and it looks like it connects right to this wire form. Yeah, so it comes around here, comes around past the left side of the theater onto this wire form and feeds into the right in lane. So there's a switch right here, so you want to be very careful you don't push the snake the wrong way. I'm actually going to depress this switch and push the snake down that metal ramp, and it'll come around the side right behind everything. So it's continuing that orbit shot that the shooter lane and the right orbit feed. Sort of like a 2-for-1. Same thing in the theater. The theater kind of comes around and pops out right behind the pop bumpers. Again, feeding into that right orbit shot. So that right orbit shot feeds, it has a couple of uses. The shooter lane feeds into the right orbit around left side of the theater. Then the same thing, the theater shoots back into that area again, feeding out to the right orbit. Okay, it's a little hard to see here from this angle, but to the left of the theater is a lock shot, which goes underneath this wire form, underneath this ramp, which is the station 1 ramp, and feeds into station 3, which comes up and then plastics into a horseshoe, into a wire form, which comes all the way out and just drops on the left side of the playfield. So to feed that, you have a couple options. You can actually take the snake underneath your habit trails, go right under here, feed it up. Now it's gonna start to go vertical, so you can't go too far. There's also a wire gate here. It looks like it's a 2-way gate, but I'm just gonna hold it up. I can put my finger here and just hold it. Okay, now continuing from that lock shot, you see it comes up here. There's a gate right here. I'm just gonna hold it up and feed the snake up, right up to the horseshoe. Now, I'm not gonna clean the whole horseshoe from this angle because I'm already going vertical with the snake. I don't wanna do that. I'm just gonna feed it back out, but then I'm gonna come in from this side, above. Just be very careful. Remember, you're not wrestling your machine, you're cleaning it. So you're just gonna kind of push it and put, until it clicks into place and creates that horseshoe. Now, since it's open, you don't have to worry so much about the snake. You can actually just take a rag and just clean it like this and this. There's no switches either to worry about. Jersey Jack kept it pretty simple up here. Okay, so the Crazy Bob shot is another orbit on the left side. You just feed it all the way up. It's underneath all this, so you're gonna feed it around, and it's gonna come around as far as you can go here. It's gonna come out to the back, right behind the pop bumpers again. You can get pretty far with it. It actually ramps off into that middle ramp. Yeah, it kind of hops into that other lane. The lane over here. Man, I don't know the names of these lanes, but you get what I'm saying. They're all interconnected in the back. Okay, for the end lanes, they're pretty straightforward, except on this Jersey Jack, which I've never really seen before. There's a whole opening here. It's actually enough to fit 3 fingers, and usually it's kind of closed off like on a Williams or a Stern. But for something like this, I'm just gonna clean this area. Now this is a 90-degree plastic. I'm not even gonna mess with that. So I'm gonna come around from the top and just feed down to the kicker. You might get a little friction on the rubber, but that's okay. The PinSnake will actually clean the rubbers as it's touching it. There you go, right up to the kicker. Go back out, watch your tail. For the end lanes, I'm always gonna start from the flippers and work my way up. Always be sure what kind of switches you have. On EMs, there's one-way post switches, so you gotta be very careful you don't bend those. But on most modern pins, they're just simple, like half circles, so you can just roll over them. There we go. This one's a little tough, so I'm actually gonna come from the top. Do it like this. There we go. Just feed it down like that. Right in lane, right out lane, pretty straightforward as well. Just gonna feed it from the bottom. Now, if you have things like, switch guards, they're basically these metal flaps that go on the sides of the switches to protect the wood. Just be careful you're not pulling them up. You're not grinding against them when you're doing the snake. There you go. Feed it through, get it in position, grab by the head, grab the tail, and kind of seesaw it. Okay, same thing. I'm gonna do it from the bottom of the flipper. I'm gonna feed it up. This is actually a normal 45-degree turn like you normally see on an outlane. I take it all the way up to the difficulty post. I don't have to go past it, no reason to. Just enough to clean that area. Okay, the one scoop you're gonna hit a lot of is the one under the phone, which starts the modes. So to kind of get in there, I'm just gonna put the PinSnake on his side and just push gently into the scoop. I'm not gonna force it down, I'm not gonna feed it down too far. There you go. Just enough to kind of clean off any muck on the sides of the walls. And that's all there is for a dialed in. It's all open in the sense that, the snake has no real challenge with it. There aren't a lot of gates, there aren't a lot of switches like you would find on a Stern or even like on an old Bally. If you watch my Bally game show video, that is nothing but gates. So cleaning a dialed in and hopefully more Jersey Jacks, pretty much simple, pretty easy to do. Thanks for watching.